If you're not watching the Jeremy Swenson Racing channel, you're a silly goose.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Jeremy Swenson Racing. Today I'm going to show you how to install these solid couplers in a C5 or C6 torque tube for a Corvette. So really all we do is replace the factory rubber ones with this, and then we align them so that we make sure our runout on our input shaft is straight and true using this shim kit supplied by GSpeed, which is upside down. GSpeed. Next, more difficult parts is getting this little bugger out. Ideally, you'll have a great big snap ring pliers. Let's get it to focus here. Man, you have a hard time focusing, don't you? Kind of like me. Anyway, ideally you'll have the large snap ring pliers. I don't have them that big, so I just use stick screwdrivers in flathead and then just keep moving around like you're mounting a tire kind of to get this puppy out. And that goes right in here, and once that's out, like I said, you can leave this in the car if you want, and you can get this thing out that way. But oh dang, son. Okay. So whoa, easy. Okay. Here is what we're replacing. This little guy, and same thing on that side. So this is uncharted territory for me, so don't be mad if I screw this up. So far I've got 2 snap rings out of here, and I don't know this, but I'm gonna give it a little tap because I feel like it should come off. Alright, I've got the vise open enough to, oh yeah, we're good. One more perfect hit should get it out. Shoot, 2, 3, okay, 4, 5. See, just like I said, 5 perfect hits and she'll pop right out. Good thing I'm videoing this so I get it back together. Alright, well, I'm going to head to the parts store, and then I'll be told that they don't have these. And then once I'm told they don't have them, I'll order them online, and I'll wait a few days. This thing will not focus. It's almost like Oh yeah, look at that. Okay, so obviously just some bearings. All right, well, I'm back. They didn't have one. They didn't have any, but I'll have one in 2 days. So this one feels like butter, so I'm not gonna replace this one. It feels good. The other one had just a little crunch to it. So again, no focusing. Maybe if I stand back by the stuff. Anyway, so I guess we'll wait 2 days and we'll pick up then. Yay.
Smash those buttons. Smash those buttons. Smash those buttons.
I can't. Smash those buttons.
I can't. Oh.
All right, well, she's not gonna be our actor, I guess.
I'll try one more time.
Okay, go. I'm still filming.
Wait, you are?
Go.
Smash those buttons.
All right, guys, we're back to waiting on certain parts, so we're going to be bouncing around doing a little of this and that. But right now, I'm going to try and grab my subframes and break those down. We've got a bunch of parts that we'll be selling because we don't need them, and some stuff we're going to be upgrading. And so I'm going to try and get a subframe on this lift so I can work on it more easily on the ground. And I have no idea if it's going to work, but we're going to give it a shot because obviously they're not in the car. The car is just levitating over there. So we'll try throw them on this lift and see what happens. And if nothing else, maybe you'll get a laugh. So let's see what happens. Dang, those are pretty light. All right, well, if anybody wants some Willwood brakes, this would not be, I mean, autocross would be fine, but this would not be for road racing. They're apparently a pretty old setup, so they're not probably up to modern standards on road course racing, but for autocross and street cars and stuff, just street rods, these would be pretty good. So I'll be putting them up for sale eventually here. Tiffany's back just doing a little touch up on the cage. She takes pride in her cage painting. And I'm back finishing up this here subframe. Not much left of it. I think we might as well get these junky janky motor mounts off too while we're up here. So, the question will now become, do I rebuild this steering rack myself, having never done one before? Or do I send it to turn one and say, please fix this for me? I think our only problem is the just a seal on this side, but there would be some peace of mind knowing that it was done by professionals who have done thousands of them. So I think what I'll do is just call them in the morning, figure out how much it is, and if it makes me fall over, then I'll maybe try to do it myself. If it's not so terrible, I might send it to them. We will see. All right, Mrs. Swenson and I are going to, okay, thank you. We're going to tear down this rear subframe before we head home for the night. Go take a minute, sneak up on Jace, and try to record him without him knowing.
Dad, you should have seen Jason's face. That was so funny. Look how pale that is.
Shush! You have the same skin. Jumping around here, I just threw in my little, it's not a tensioner, it's, I forget what they even call this thing, but that little orange guy there, sucker was 50 bucks. And it may or may not help, but it most likely is worth it. And that's kind of one thing in racing, is you can cheap out and do things the cheap way, or just skip it all together. You probably would get by, but stuff like that adds up, and if if you don't do it right, you might find yourself losing a weekend or losing an engine or doing stuff. So you really, it sucks because cars like this will nickel and dime you to death, but you really do it right the first time is the idea, and then hopefully you have a lot more fun weekends where you're not blown up or you're not losing a weekend, because every weekend that we race is really expensive too, to drive across the country, get hotel, fuel, time away from work and family, and so yeah, that stuff gets expensive, and trying to do everything proper the first time on a car sure goes a long ways. So I'm trying to think of everything and make sure that we have success right out of the gate, because I sure don't want to drive across the country and get a couple laps and have to go home. So I know a guy that does that. Shout out Luke McGrew. Thanks for watching, homie. Boys, check these out. As I told you, every grid lice GLTC race is in the rain, so we had to get some rain tires. So we got these skinny little things. I'm not used to these tiny little tires. We got them on some Flow Form, something Flow 1, I don't know. They're an inexpensive tire or wheel from Tire Rack. I mean, the tires themselves cost a fair bit more than the wheels. It's ridiculous. But something we needed, and now we'll be ready for rain. All right. I never showed you the finishing of the coupler install because it's fairly barbaric and I don't need your judgmental thoughts on me. But that's all in, except there's an important step that one must do when you install solid couplers. And that's measuring runout. That's we want to make sure as this shaft spins, we want to make sure it stays straight. Because if it doesn't, now everything's solid. That thing's going to eat alive your bushings. Excuse me, your pilot bushing, and it's going to cause problems. So the goal is to get it within 5 thousandths runout per GSpeed. On my ZR1, I got it to 3 thousandths, and I thought I was a hero. Although it took, I don't know, 25 tries, because I did the, excuse me, I did the sanding method, which I highly don't recommend, where you just sand down the side of the coupler that is the high spot until you get it to zero runout, or close to it. So far, this has gone terribly. I figured with the shims this would be easy. And so far, none of it's hardly even made sense. I started at 20 thousandths runout. Let's see if we can get focus out of this piece of junk. Okay, I started at 20 thousandths runout, and so far, check it, boys. Now we're at 40 thousandths, 42 thousandths. So I've made it worse. Woo, doggy. And I've already done it like 8 tries. Anyway, like I said, I've already tried a bunch of times, and at this point now, nothing seems to even be making sense. So I guess we'll just keep trying until I get too frustrated. So hopefully I'm going to cut to me solving this in less than a second. Stay tuned. You're not going to believe this. Literally, I hate that word, but I need to use it in this situation. So literally 2 minutes later, after I just shut off this video, I took it all back out, took the top coupler off, and took the shims out that I had in it, and instead of adding shims into a different spot, I just rotated the coupler to a different, there's 3 bolts, so basically just twisting the top in relation to the bottom section, and I figured I'd start over there and check it, boys. And a guy probably shouldn't be this excited about what is 5 thousandths runout, basically. Cool. So we got her to 5 thou, boys. And that's going to be fine for me. So I'm going to take it back apart, Loctite those 3 bolts, put it back in, realize that I screwed something up at that point, and probably start over again. But let me show you that process anyway. The good news is it doesn't take long. So I just hammer that puppy in there. And I'm using the torque tube as my holder fixture or whatever. And I've got a steel bench, so I set up my dial indicator with the magnetic base on the steel bench, so that's quick and easy. I just pop that out of the way. Soft mallet pops that puppy out. Pull this mamma jamma out. And oh boy. So I've been marking my spot to keep these aligned properly, and I did change that, and that's where I got my success. So I'm just going to mark these 2 again to make sure that they go back the way I've got them now. I've got Loctite on all the other bolts except these 3 because I've had them in and out 55 times. And if you're going to do this 100 times like I just did, and trust me, you probably will, you're going to want to use a power tool because otherwise it's going to take a while. So I'll put some blue Loctite on these threads. Here's my torque wrench also. As you can see, that was exactly 60 foot-pounds or whatever these things are supposed to be. I am not the most particular guy about certain torquing of things, especially when there's Loctite on them, and they're a strong bolt. I can over tighten them a bit, which I'm sure I just did, and it's not going to be an issue. In my opinion, obviously don't do that if you're worried about it. So now we just pop this guy back in. Help the front edge come through. Take your mallet to the back end, smack it in a few times until she's seated. Grab your magnetic base, line up your dial indicator, and now I show you that I'm wildly off after getting so excited. Join me, guys. This is going to be the part where I lose my mind if we're over 5,000 up. Shit. Oh, nope, we just moved. Okay. Oh. How's it even better now? Dude, this stuff is... My fixture moving at all? Okay, we're taking that to the bank. 3 thou. That's what I have in the ZR1. Stop looking at it now. Right? That baby's nice and true. Good, now I don't have to waste the whole day messing with that, because in the next video we're going to start some other GSpeed goodies, which I've got outside here in the freezer. There's my GSpeed goodies. See, this is the freezer out here. Those guys have been cooling all night because that's going to help install those puppies. They're precision fit, so having those things shrink down from the cold And then I'll probably heat up the control arms a little bit and we'll pop those spherical bearings in. So that's going to do it for this episode. I thank you for watching. Please share, subscribe, and smash buttons. Otherwise my children will continue to yell at you. Actually, they're gonna do that either way because that's how we roll around here. I promise that's not going to be my outro, the long pause, but for now it is, I guess. Thanks for watching. Love you all. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching the Jerry Swenson Racing channel.
Deuces. Deuces. Try it again.
Deuces.
Get over here.